Hello and welcome. Thank you for being here. Welcome to our 20-minute pop-up this week where our focus is on what stress got to do with it. We're going to share with you lots of great information, but please, as a reminder, go ahead and share in the chat here on Zoom where you're zooming in from and who invited you so we can get to know you a little bit. And also, we want to make sure that you know that you are very welcome and we'd love to have you to stay for the after party at the end where you'll hear from Daniel Reyes about biomagnetic therapy. And then Julie will take us through a guided meditation that you absolutely fall in love with. And of course, as always, we will have the follow-up with the Q&A. So please stay with us afterwards, but we're going to start a 20-minute presentation now. Remember, all of that we share with you is just to give you some information to help you and support you, but it is not intended to replace any kind of medical advice or any related regimens that your physician may have you on. So please consult with your physician for any medical, emotional, or any health concerns. So let's get started. Today, you are going to hear and learn more about what stress is, what causes stress, what good and bad stress, what the differences are, how it impacts us, how we lose some of our nutrition through the stress on our bodies, and our bodies get depleted from specific nutrition, nutrients. We're going to, of course, cover the Shaklee difference and help you put together a regimen for stress specifically with some great whole food supplements. We let you know about some holistic therapy and, of course, the guided meditation. So we're excited. If you're excited in the chat, just put excited in there. Let us know that you're here with us and you're excited about what we're about to share. So what is stress? Well, stress is just the body's automatic response to physical and mental demands placed on it. Certain chemicals are produced, and what we want to remember is that whenever our bodies are under stress, we have the option to fight it or get away from it. But what's happening more and more nowadays is that we are stuck in a constant mode of stress, and that's where the problem comes in. So we're going to help you, give you some tools and information, go through this really fast with you, and then we'll be here for you to support you and answer any additional questions that may come up for you. So is stress bad? Not really. We do need some stress in our life to get us motivated out of bed, to get things done. Otherwise we'd be bored or we'd do nothing at all. So some stress is good, and we need a little bit of stress, but too much stress is what causes the anxieties and the depression and a lot of other health issues that we're going to go over with you here. So identifying the stressors is the first big step, is to really realize where the stress is coming from. So some of the areas are, it's about the situations, the activities, the relationships that cause trauma to our physical and emotional, psychological self. So things like, going to school, what's happening with school right now, work and working from home, or going to work, family, relationships, legal stuff, finances, career, illnesses, not knowing, what's going to happen, living situations. And we had to add this one here is the year 2020. That's like a whole nother unique situation that all of us have experienced this year. And that's one of the reasons we got a lot of requests to do a pop-up on stress. So negative stress, it has an impact on you physically. It, can have weight gain or weight loss. Some people will lose hair, heart and blood pressure issues, emotional, from, mood swings to anxieties to feeling depressed. And then some of this mood swings and anxieties and aches and pains will lead people to find unhealthy ways to cope with it through drugs and alcohol. And that's why we're here to help you find healthy ways to cope and heal the body from the stressors that you might be experiencing. So we're going to hear from Dr. Jamie McManus from Shaklee, and the focus is on ways to cope and help you with stress and avoid weight gain and maintain a healthy weight. Note that she will talk about vitamins that are naturally depleted from our bodies due to stress. So just make a note of that. And please, again, in the chat, If you're enjoying this, put on there. Love it. If you have questions, put them in there. And let's go ahead and watch Dr. Jamie.
Stress is a way of life in our modern world, whether we like it or not. Our day-to-day lives are filled with bills, commuting, and 24-hour news shows broadcasting more bad news than good. Add to that major stressors such as losing a loved one, moving, changing jobs, and you have a toxic cocktail of constant stress and anxiety. Chronic stress tends to increase appetite and releases a slew of chemicals, including cortisol, that tends to lead to weight gain. So here are some ways to help combat stress and keep those pounds off. Exercise is the best stress buster, and a simple walk can do wonders to reduce your stress. Remember to eat a good breakfast. Fiber in the morning helps control blood sugar, which helps control stress. And getting enough sleep helps control your daytime stress. My top advice, though, is to take time to enjoy relaxing activities such as yoga, meditation, listening to good music, enjoying nature, or just reading a good book. And avoid cigarettes, excessive caffeine, sugar, and alcohol. These all increase cortisol levels. Instead, take a multivitamin and extra B vitamins to help replenish those nutrients that may be depleted by stress. Remember, each of these techniques will help you feel better, more focused, and calm. It all adds up to a healthier you.
Let's move on and give you a little bit more information on things to help you manage stress. Here are some stress relievers. And many of us know a lot of those, but again, this is just to keep you kind of get you refocused and help you get the tools together, especially this time of year. So body relaxation exercises, physical exercises, counseling, nutrition, holistic therapy, and alternative medicines. You're looking at things like, maybe biomagnetic, which you'll hear more about later, and tapping, and, swimming, biking. They're just to stay active and do things to relax and to also keep your body moving. Nutritional supplements to support your mood, pain, and other stress-related symptoms. Just going to cover them briefly, and you'll have the video to watch later to really read more into details about that. So you have your calcium deficiency is strongly linked to depression. I'm going to have the links at the bottom of the page for you to read more about. There's more with the B complex. You're going to hear a little bit more about that. Our Be Happy vitamins, and again, the link to read more about that and how it links to depression. And then also vitamin C. Many of us think of that as an immunity, but also our immunity is depleted when we're under a lot of stress. And then vitamin C can help reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression as well. And of course, the omega-3 fatty acids that you can get from fish and nuts and seeds. And then the vitamin D that many of us know, make sure you get your vitamin D checked, make sure you have the right levels, and because there's a link between the vitamin D deficiency again and depression. And then we have the protein. The protein Life Shake is incredible. We'll have someone chat with you about that afterwards as well. Protein improves the function of neurotransmitters, and then neurotransmitters are the chemicals that allows the brain cells to communicate with each other. Again, it is a part of keeping you healthy. Eat less sugar because it regulates your blood sugar levels, so you don't have a tendency to want so much sugar. The two products we wanted to highlight for you today, and specifically Mood Lift, has had a huge impact for me. When I was going through menopause, my anxiety just kicked into high gear. It was really horrible. For those of you that have experienced really debilitating anxieties, put in the chat anxieties or yes, I've experienced that, because it gets to the point where you I wasn't able to function. Mood Lift was an incredible product for me, among the other things that I've done, but I just really wanted to highlight that today. And the complexes that we have. I know some people that will bring, take some botanicals and create their own remedies, which is great. The big thing is to ensure that you know the quality of the raw materials that you're getting. And that's what I wanted to focus a little bit extra on today, is the Shaklee difference, how to get the purity, how to have the potency and the consistency in all the products that you're taking. Because when you're taking a vitamin and a supplement, you're doing that to live well, to help yourself and help your family and the ones that you care for. The Shaklee difference is incredible. The Shaklee actually looks and confirms the purity and the potency of ingredients after harvest to guarantee that the final finished product is free of hundreds of chemicals and contaminants. So when you see it, the label, it's not going to say organic, it will say beyond organic. It's 3 times the pharmacopoeia standards. It's 100,000 quality tests a year on the products and over 350 harmful contaminant tests. We are unique in the industry, when the supplement industry, when you look at what the Shaklee difference is. And again, it's all 100% guaranteed. But when you're taking a vitamin, again, you're taking it and you're giving it to your family so you can see the benefits, so you can really feel the results. And when it comes to the products, the Shaklee products, every single tablet that you consume, you'll know that you'll get the results, consistency. And Dr. Shaklee started back in 1915. We have the history, we have the integrity, and we are here as wellness consultants to help you create a program that best fits your lifestyle and your budget. So here are some other helpful tips for you. Manage your time. Don't overdo it. Set boundaries. Know how to say no to people and be good with it. Make sure that you don't compromise your own values and beliefs, and have a me time. Go for a walk, read a book, spend some me time so your body can rejuvenate and rest and be revived. Avoid caffeine. Benefits of managing stress, we all know how much better we feel, how we can focus, we have better relationships, we do so much better in life, and we can do so much more for others when we take care of ourselves. Relax, this is pretty cool. I just want you to do a little bit of research on the beta waves and the alpha waves in our brains and how those work and help us with the relaxation. Very powerful information. And then there are some great free apps out there for you, and I encourage you to look into them. There are a lot of resources out there. Again, our big thing that we can help you with is create a regimen for your nutritional supplements, but we're also here to guide you and help you and show you other resources that are available for you. You're not alone. Don't feel embarrassed or ashamed when you have anxieties and depression. Ask for help. One thing is not just going to fix it all. It's a lifestyle. It's the balance and the integration of all the resources that we have for you. And reach out to one of us as your wellness advisor. We're here to help you. We're here to help you make healthy happen. So we want to wrap up this presentation by hearing from Dr. Blackburn, who won her Nobel Peace Prize in medicine because of her work in the telomeres. And very briefly, telomeres are something that you want to have long. The longer, the healthier you are. As they shrink, that's when our health declines. But what I'm excited about sharing with you, and she's going to talk about, is our community and having a supportive community and how that impacts our health, overall health, and stress levels. So here's Dr. Blackburn.
Talk about that, about how much the support structure and maybe how financial stress can also impact the telomeres.
Yes. If people don't trust their neighbors in their neighborhood, we see consistently shorter telomeres. And if people are in, a really sort of horrendous situation as children, where they're exposed to violence, where they're exposed to abuse, where they're exposed to even bullying, even racism, we see quantitative effects on the telomeres. And then the converse is that we see people, whose meaning in life, which is very interesting because it sounds very abstract, but that quantitatively was relating to the capacity to maintain their telomeres.
So one of the things I've discovered from meeting hundreds of thousands of Shaklee family members from around the world is that it's an incredibly supportive and encouraging community. So they're actually very happy for other people to be successful.
Yes.
And that makes you happy. And,
Yes.
and maybe that's part, in addition to the nutrition, that
Yes.
the secret for why Shaklee people have preserved
Yes.
their telomeres better than others.
Yes, there's really good evidence that suggests when you're very stressed, that actually wears your telomeres down faster. And conversely, when you're not, and when you have this attitude like the Shaklee community, where there are more likely to be positive, sense of, your purpose in life, what you're doing, that you have a community, you care
You're making
about
a difference
things,
in other people
you're
in the world.
making
Yeah.
a difference. Those things have conversely correlated with better capacity to, keep your telomeres built back up. That in turn is really contributing to the likelihood you'll stay healthier longer. And I think that then is going to sort of feed back into people's general ability to be, positive, purposeful people who can live lives that they find have meaning. So they feed back in a really positive way, I think.
Is today the day you make a choice to eat better, sleep better, exercise more? Healthy living isn't some impossible goal. It's a choice you can make right now, and you don't have to go it alone. So maybe it's not when will you make the choice, rather, when will we?
Thanks, Adiba. That was a great presentation. I'm going to talk a little bit about the B vitamins, the B complex, or B complex, like we like to say. That was actually the first supplement that I started taking when I joined Shaklee, because I was under a lot of stress at work. And I noticed a lot of people were getting sick around me and catching what was going around the office, and I wasn't getting sick. So that was I credited that to the B complex as well, that it helps to improve your immunities, which ties into your attitude and outlook on life. If you're stressed and feeling anxious and down, that really does have an effect on your immunities. Eating processed and fast foods depletes vitamin B. So it's important that it's a lifestyle change as well. And of course, as we age, our need for B complex really continues. It helps with cognition and memory as well. I found it interesting that many people report that they became a lot nicer when they started taking Shaklee. And I think that has a lot to do with the B complex helping to level out blood sugar levels, along with the protein, and just helping with the stress and not feeling quite good, and really good that you do experience when you get on a regular program of supplementation. And another wonderful supplement that helps with stress is the calcium, like the presentation mentioned. It works along with magnesium and vitamin D as well. It helps the body to utilize all those minerals. It relaxes the muscles and it regulates the heartbeat. A majority of the calcium isn't digestible that's out on the market. This is a little bit to the Shaklee difference. The manufacturers try to make the tablets as small as possible, and they compact the calcium with high pressure. Well, when we ingest that, it doesn't break down through our digestive tract because it's too compressed. Shaklee actually did the research and found out that low pressure helps to preserve the integrity of the supplements. So Shaklee only uses very low pressure and low heat to process the food supplements. So this is really important, because if the supplements you're taking are just passing through your digestive tract, guess what? You're just throwing your money down the commode. So that's a real important point, I think, to all of this. And there's a whole lot more information on the internet as far as what helps to contribute to taking care of stress and handling that in our lives. Tanya?
Hello, thank you, Ruthie. I wanted to talk a little bit about chronic stress. And I don't know if everybody knows this, but chronic stress actually has a shrinking effect on the prefrontal cortex, which is the area responsible for memory and learning. And it also increases the frequency of symptoms like headaches, dizziness, depression. So for a long time, I suffered from anxiety and some of these symptoms. But I slowly went through the process of just finding out what works for me. But I want to talk a little bit about my two favorite products, which are the Stress Relief and the Mind Works, because the Stress Relief really works well to help relax the body. And it helps actually the body and the mind, and it helps to promote alertness. And it's interesting because through this journey, I've actually talked to even my son's psychiatrist. For those of you who don't know, he has ADHD and anxiety, and one of my main focuses this year was really to try to get him off of so many meds and really getting to a point where he can really balance his emotions and stress on his own. And when I asked the psychiatrist about stress relief, I told him, this is what I take. What do you think about me giving some to my son and supplementing? One of the main ingredients in the stress relief is actually L-theanine. And when I talked to him about it, he was enthusiastically was like, yes, definitely add it. It was amazing actually to have the support of a medical professional and really understand, the difference of Shaklee and what good it could do. He actually said, hey, if you can get him, on a good regimen, maybe we can decrease his dose, or maybe he could eventually be off all kinds of, medications. You don't typically hear that from a doctor or somebody in the medical field to really help support that healthy outlook. And then the other one is Mind Works, which really helps to promote mental sharpness and focus. And actually, one of the reasons I really love this is because this unique process of development was researched for over 5 years. And it's actually from a neuroscientist, and I wrote her name down, I think it's Dr. Laurel Fisher from MIT. It was so unique that it was patented only for Shaklee. And it works amazingly if taken daily. And, those are two of the supplements that I've implemented for myself that I've been using, and now my son. And we're really seeing a difference. I really see that he's a little bit more calm, a little bit less jumpy, and doesn't, I guess, if you want to say, freak out as much when he gets to that point of something that's a stressor, especially with the virtual school and everything going on nowadays. So now I'm going to pass it on to Billy Lily's going to talk to you a little bit.
Hello, let's talk a little bit about the Shaklee Shake. It's a complete meal in a glass with 20 grams of protein, 6 grams of fiber, and 24 essential vitamins and minerals. That's 20 grams of ultra pure non-GMO protein and 9 essential amino acids, gluten-free, vegan, and keto-friendly. Also includes 120 grams of calcium plus essential omega-3 fatty acids and more. It's a perfectly sweetened for a low glycemic meal. It helps to maintain your weight, and with only 160 to 170 calories per serving, and you can choose either soy protein or plant-based protein. You can customize your shake with either milk or water, and you can add your favorite fruits and vegetables or your nut butters. It's available in 4 different flavors. So that's really short and sweet. So I'll pass it on to my BFF, Sharon.
We're going over. I'm going to talk about sleep complex and recovery complex. The thing I like so much about the sleep complex is before I used to seem like I would wake up for a 2-hour period at night, and then I'd realize, oh my gosh, there goes 2 of my hours of sleep and I'm going to be dead tired tomorrow. So the Gentle Sleep Complex is wonderful in that it doesn't make you feel drugged at all. It just makes you feel legitimately sleepy and ready to sleep. It's kind of like, and this is a whole different topic, so forgive me, but it's kind of like our energy chews. If I'm driving, and this is not about stress, but if I'm driving and I'm dead tired, if I do an energy chew, it does not make me like wired or anything. It just makes me feel legitimately awake and great. And then I'm going to talk a minute about the recovery complex. My son exercises a lot, and he's a women's basketball coach, and he just really loves the recovery complex, as does a good friend of mine at work who has lost 80 some pounds. And getting good sleep is one of the things we need to do to lose weight. And he swears by the recovery complex. So now I'm going to let Julie lead us in a guided meditation. We're blessed to have you, Julie. So it's a 3-minute guided meditation.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I'm going to, it's 7:58, so I'm going to try to keep track of the time. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to sit comfortably, and we're going to try to sit in a very stable position. And so maybe I'll get us started that way. So whatever you're doing, where you're seated in your chair or recliner, sit so that you're relaxed, but also kind of upright. You know, so what that would mean really is that your head is not leaning back on anything, not your whole head, but maybe your shoulders, and you're holding your head up. One of the things that we like about that when we do a meditation seated is that it keeps you alert. So you do want to be awake and alert while you're giving your mind a vacation or a break here. I was listening to some of the words people used today, and talking about the me time in one of the slides. This is sort of the ultimate me time. This break of a little short meditation is your ultimate me time. It's only about what's going on inside of you. So it's not reading a book, which is actually adding more information to your head. It's not me time watching a movie. It's actually just me time. The other thing I was going to add is that we're busy, busy, busy. And our mind is busy, busy, busy. And our body is busy, busy. So this is a chance to not be. And that's a nice little mini vacation for both. So if you'll sit comfortably, we're going to start with our breathing. One of the nice things about paying attention to your breathing is that it's everywhere you go. So you don't ever leave it at home. You don't ever say, oops, I got to turn around and go back and pick that up. So you always can do this everywhere you go, anytime. So if you're quiet, which means I need to be quiet, you'll be able to hear and you'll be able to feel the in and out of your breath. And at first, you don't want to falsely manage your breath. At first, you just want to notice your breath. So I'm going to be quiet for a second. See what you notice about the speed and the depth of your breathing. Very good. One of the things you might like to do after you notice where your breathing is you might want to add to your depth and calmness of the breath by counting a little bit and counting in breath seconds, however speedy, it goes. It might be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then have the out breath be longer in count. So try that. You're going to breathe in. Let's say I'll breathe in 5 and I'll count that quietly. Breathing out and then 1. In breath is 2, 3, 4, 5. And then out breath is going to be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. By exhaling a little extra like that, you give yourself a deeper breath the next time in. I think I'm out of time, but I would like us to do a sound, a vibrational sound with our out breath this time, just so that you get to experience it. So take a nice deep breath in and maybe count to 5. And then on your out breath, most of us are muted except for me, so it doesn't matter how you sound. You're just going to kind of go Om with your out breath, and that gives you a full inside massage for the vibrations on the inside of your body. So in breath, and then One of the great places to do this is like in the car when you're driving. There's nobody else around possibly, and you're making this vibration inside your whole chest, your whole torso, and you're giving yourself a massage. When I teach my class, I have a class called Creating Space for Meditation. We go further, of course, and I like to pick a word like calm or peace, and that just gives you a center for how to get back to calm if in case the thoughts get speedy, and then they can come back to calm, and then they can go wild and they can come back again. So it is now 8:03, so I'll turn it over back to Adiba.
Thank you everyone. And we, as I had mentioned at the beginning, is we were going to do the presentation, the 20 minutes, and then followed by the guided meditation and Q&A. So as usual on our pop-ups, once the 20 minutes are up, you are welcome to leave, but we'd love having you here because we're going to have Q&A right after this next video. A good friend of mine also, Julie, I've known her for a while through the Wellness Center, and as well as Daniel, who does biomagnetic therapy. So I wanted to share his video, and again, it's another tool. And if any of you need to leave, this will be recorded and we'll have it on YouTube for you. So let me go ahead and just share this real quick, and then we'll answer some questions for anyone that's still hanging around. And let me see if I can make sure I share the right one. And here we go with Daniel.
Hi, and welcome to this video. My name is Daniel Reyes, and I'm the owner and therapist here at Holistic Within. I work mostly with techniques like the biomagnetic code, which I created. It's a modality to reverse engineer the process of chronic stress. Techniques like hypnotherapy and neuroenergetic repatterning. how does it work, and why do we create that hostile environment for ourselves, for our own body, just by thinking and feeling a certain way? So you know that every thought that we have is an electromagnetic pulse, right, in the brain. And every thought that we have will create an emotional response, some very, very slight, very small. Like if I'm thinking, well, tomorrow I'm going to wear X or Y, that might not have a lot of emotional link to it, right? But if tomorrow is the last day that I have to pay a bill, I'm going to be thinking, oh, tomorrow's the last day, and the thought is carrying a lot more emotion with it. And of course, there is thoughts or events that are carrying a lot more emotion with them, right? Now let's break it down. An emotion is just the fuel that the body needs to do something, to act on something, right? Especially an actual thing that I need to do to save my life, to save me from pain, from discomfort, from X or Y. So let's say there's a snake here and I see it. And I'm gonna have feel that emotional response. We call it fear, but for the body, it's just the fuel that the body needs to act on it. Meaning I need to jump out of here, I need to fight the snake, I need to run out of here. That response takes a lot of energy. I weigh over 200 pounds, and imagine how fast I need to jump, and I will jump if I see a snake here. Well, that's a lot of energy. This is a problem though. Most of the time that we are stressed, it's not about a snake that is about to bite us. It's not about a tiger or a lion that is going to eat us, or it's not about not having enough food, because for the most part, I mean, we're very, very blessed. But we get stressed over things that we not necessarily need to act on it, like on a physical level. I'm stressed over things that I haven't done on my computer, but I'm not gonna do a physical activity. I'm just going to do them, but without a lot of physical activity. So we're experiencing a lot of high levels of stress, as if it was a physical thing, and the body is like a battery, and it's just receiving that stress. And what happens to a battery that you put more energy than what is coming out? Well, the battery starts to swell up and starts to heat up because it has this overcharge, right? So in a way, that's kind of how it works, because the emotional response, because it's electromagnetic, is going to split the molecule of water, H2O. We're mostly water, right? H2O. So as the stress goes through, or the electromagnetic current goes through H2O, the H2O gets split, and now we have an H and an OH, and that's a dysfunction, that's an unbalance. So we are acidic, not too much because of the things that we eat, although that plays a big role, but most of the time, the issues that we face, the illnesses, the inflammation, the pain, is related to an emotional response. Now, granted, this might not be a huge emotional response, but it can be a little bit of stress over months and months and years that adds up. And now we might have inflammation of a certain organ, or simply just inflammation of the whole body, or pain, or even just the habit of having a certain kind of stress or a certain kind of anxiety, and we're always anxious, or we're always a little bit like depressed, and we don't even know why. Well, the biomagnetic therapy is exactly to revert that, to reverse engineer the process of chronic stress, or stressors that we had in the past that might still be active on a physiological level. Anyway, if you want more information, you can always give me a call, 210-906-0308. That's 210-906-0308. Or you can go to my website, holisticwithin.com. That's holisticwithin.com. Thank you so much for being with me here now, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, and that was Daniel, and I have experienced his biomagnetic therapy. He also does hypnosis, as well as my counselor that I go to does hypnotherapy as well, which is something to learn about. A lot of modality that we can explore to really, if you're looking for holistic, natural ways to combat stress and also repair the body from the stress effects and impact that it has on us. So we can, I know that it is definitely past the time and some people are still with us. So I'd like to, open it up for questions and comments. I will have this downloaded and recorded and have the information for you to reach Julie and Daniel. And of course, all of us get back with the person that invited you so you can get any questions answered. But does anyone have any questions? I'd like to hear from everyone that's still watching. If you'd unmute yourself. And then also if the team, Sharon and Tanya and Ruthie and Billy, well, Billy's already unmuted. And just hop in. Let me see if were there any questions in the chat that you noticed?
I didn't notice any questions specifically, but let's see.
Did anybody get lost in that telomere thing? Did you get it that telomeres are in the brain?
Not in the brain only.
Oh, they're everywhere?
It's in our cells.
Oh, I thought they were mainly in the brain. No?
No. The telomeres are in our DNA, in our cells.
Yeah, in the DNA.
The DNA.
I guess since it's called, what's it called? MindWorks. I was thinking it had to do with the mind. No.
Oh, okay. No.
Okay, well, I guess I had a question.
There's your question. But that's if you Google telomeres, it's a really, really interesting findings. The research that they find on that is really powerful.
Because I had never heard of it before MindWorks came out.
Oh, okay. And then one of the things that from the research, and probably Ruthie can correct me on that, but they compared the group, because there's studies that have been done on the Shaklee people as a whole compared to other groups of people, and they compared a Shaklee person with a 40-year, I believe, healthy non-Shaklee consumer, and their telomere, it will, by the time the Shaklee person reached, I believe, around 90 years old, that person will have the same length of telomere as a healthy 40-year-old non-Shaklee user. Isn't it about right like that, Ruthie, or do you remember?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's about right.
And that's really powerful because telomeres, basically, they're like the end caps on your chromosomes. And when they're gone, that's the end of life. So the longer they stay long, the healthier you are. So it's a direct indication that they're finding with how healthy we are and then our lifespan. So that's a huge thing to be like, wow, like if I'm at 90 and my telomeres are so healthy as a 40-year-old, that's a lot to really wrap my mind around. Is like, yeah, that sounds like a good place for me to invest my money with a company that is has the studies to show that what I'm taking is actually absorbed and my body is benefiting from it, compared to, I was on vitamins before Shaklee with my first pregnancy, and the difference we covered that in another pop-up is a huge difference. And I know with Sharon, you've experienced the impact taking calcium, right?
Oh yeah, I used to have back problems, and I would go to chiropractors, and this one chiropractor had me on all this calcium, and the best thing I got out of that, or the worst thing, was kidney stones. And that was over 27 years ago, obviously, since I've been doing Shaklee for 27. And I always for 27 years have taken the Shaklee calcium, which is called osteomatrix, and no more kidney stone problems. And I'm 76 now. So normally when I started, I was 49. So normally you don't get healthier when you get 27 years older, but I have. My blood work is always perfect. My doctor, when I went last time, she said, here, squeeze my hand. And I thought she was checking me for strength. And she said, I want some of that to rub off, some of that health to rub off on me. So.
Yeah, it really makes a difference. Does anyone have any comments about Dr. Blackburn and the community and, being around, and what Roger Burnett was talking about, being around the positive, uplifting people, how that impacts your health and stress level?
It's so true. Even a phone call from someone, like I got a phone call this morning, and it just made me feel so good.
Yeah, it's really, it's a community. And honestly, you can go to Costco and get vitamins, you can get them from anywhere. But what you get with us is a community. You get us, you get the people at Shaklee. We're honestly, it's not like they're there and we're here. It's this incredible community that started with a vision of this young 22-year-old Dr. Shaklee, who created the first vitamin back in 1915. So, you're getting more than, you're going to, the corner store or Costco and you're buying a product. You're getting this community of knowledge. And, we're truly about making healthy happen. And we want to, direct you to the tools, really grateful that Julie hopped in, because, it's about reaching other people with the same mindset that want to help people. And then, yes, we sell the Shaklee products, but what you get that's priceless is us, and Billy and Sharon and Ruth.
BFF Billy.
And the other, I shared in that last pop-up, I called Shaklee to find out about allergies of someone that's not even a customer for her son. And this guy, he stayed on the phone with me like 35 minutes to look at all the ingredients and ask me questions, so I make sure that her son doesn't get anything that he would be allergic to. I'm like, the kind of a joke is like, I can't go to Costco. They're not going to spend 35 minutes with me to go through all the ingredients and tell me about it and possibly this and that. It's so much more. I get excited a little bit.
I do too.
After 27 plus years, yeah.
Yeah, Diva and I have been together for 27 years with this.
Yeah. And, my mom told me about it back in the 70s. And, I didn't listen. I was like, yeah, I'm in the military. I can get my free vitamins from the doctor. They'll just give it to me. And
free medicine.
And free medicine.
Thank you, Lord, you're not doing that anymore.
I know. I'm so grateful. But anyway, I don't know who else is on. We got Angela and Julie. We did have Nancy hop on. I think she hopped off already.
Right, I saw her. Yeah.
Yeah, Nancy has a wellness center, and she's going to be doing a lot of online teaching as well. So I had a really good chat with her today. I might be doing some belly dance classes in her.
Oh, she's the one you got a call about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I'm going to be doing my classes with her too, so that's going to be fun. And I'm looking forward then to I wanted to say thank you guys for inviting me. This is really nice to meet this community. I'm thrilled that I've been trying to get to one of these pop-ups for a while, so I'm glad I did. Thank you.
I'm glad you did. And this is a good time. I know we'll have it, if people want to ask, but just take a moment to share your contact information since it's being recorded, and it'll be right there too.
Yeah, I put my phone number earlier, but I'll put my website and email too. How's that?
Well, say it out loud so it'll be on the recording.
Oh, I see. Okay. So I'm Julie Little, and I'm J Little Health, and my website is jlittlehealth.com. And my email, I have an email, a business email that is julie@jlittlehealth @gmail. And my other email is julie.little52 @gmail. But you can check out my website, and I do have I do have stuff going on. I have for retired people. This was very relevant. It was funny. The blue zones. You guys were talking about healthy lifestyle and places where people have a long, healthy life and the telomeres and everything. I'm teaching a class in the spring. It's a 6 weeks class. It's a specific San Antonio community ed for older people or retired people called the Blue Zones, a way to make lifestyle choices that add longevity. And then my meditation classes, those are online. And I'm going to be teaching other things with Nancy's group too. So I love connecting with people, and it's great to meet you guys.
Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you. It's really nice meeting you as well.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Ruth.
Julie did a couple of meditation classes when I had my wellness center, so she had them there.
Awesome.
That's
And
where
that's how I
met
met Billy.
Yes,
That's how
Yeah.
that's where I met her.
Have you been taking good care of yourself?
Trying. I do. When I was at my dentist about a month ago, as I was walking out, the dental hygienist tells me, "Don't forget to get your flu shot." And I told her, "I don't take flu shots." And she says, "Ever?" And I go, "Ever." She said, "You must have one heck of an immune system." After what I do, it's called Shaklee.
And your granddaughter, Billy, your granddaughter that I met, how's she?
She was supposed to be here tonight, but I was telling Nadipa the other day, she has horrible monthly cycles. And she's in a lot of pain. So she texted me a few minutes ago to let me know she was just not feeling good.
Yeah.
So,
Pain, that pain is awful.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
good
But
night,
she's
you guys.
recording.